Is the love of money absolutely necessary to manifest money? That's exactly what we're talking about today on the Manifesting Guide. But before we do that, if you'd like to start to create from a simple wish list, get things done, I invite you to get our How to Create a Wish List to Realize Your Dreams. It's completely free. Go to highertrueself.com/freebie. So if you've struggled to make money, you will want to listen in detail to this podcast. This is Manifesting Guide, podcast 61. Is the love of money essential to manifesting money? So glad you're here. This is Ariana Rollins. Let's first talk about where this notion came from that loving money is not spiritual, it's not right. It's kind of like putting false gods, creating false gods, or things that are not real that will take our attention off what is real. I'm not talking about following a particular religious path or following the Bible, and if you do, that's okay as well. What I'm talking about is our perspective and our perception, because that programming is strong in us. Now, if that's the case, then you've been on a spiritual path for a while. You might feel money's not important. It's just, gosh, why do I have to pay attention to that, right? Well, if that's the case, you're going to want to pay attention to this, because in many ways, you've got to love what you want to manifest. I'm going to repeat that. It's important. You've got to love. You've got to have a passion. You've got to have an excitement and eagerness for what it is you want to manifest, whether it's new relationship or whether it is a deeper connection and intimacy in your marriage, or whether it is to move house into a house that you love and you're tired of living in a place where it's noisy, or you don't have a great connection with neighbors, or maybe you want to move countries, you want to start a new life. Do you feel the difference there? Do you feel the excitement and the passion that might be there for those kind of wishes, intentions, goals? But money? Well, is money real? I don't think so. If you live in the United States, well, maybe all countries are like this, you know that they can print more money. They manage and control the economy through changing the interest rates, so that if the economy is going down and it looks like we're going into a recession, they're going to bump up the interest rates. So if you want to buy a house, you're going to have to pay more in interest. And they manage these things like these. And for anyone who's intelligent, it's not real. It's not real at all. So how do we put our excitement, our energy, our passion into something that's not real? Creating it, managing it, manifesting it. This is a question. It's a really important question. But let's first talk about, I'm going to go into detail, what can block manifesting money. A few things is if there's a high need. So say that you don't have the money and resources to pay the essentials, to pay your bills. You go into a stress consciousness. Your brain waves are actually vibrating at a beta consciousness, which is not the place or time to learn something new, or to problem solve, or to tap into your unconscious mind or your intuition to get things done. You're in this fight or flight. I gotta do it. And when you don't have any respite from that stress state, when you're in that active mind, or even maybe your body's doing lots of things to try to make it happen, you're not receptive. There is a certain necessity to manifesting that you need to be in a passive receptive state to receive. And when you're in that high stress beta consciousness, it's very hard to receive, very hard to learn, very hard to do things any differently than what you're doing. And we know that often we can't solve a problem in the same mind that created it, right? We've all been there. So what blocks manifesting? That's number one, a high stress state. You really need it. It's got to happen. And it's like you're squeezing your hands on the steering wheel, white knuckling it. We don't manifest from that place. We've got to be in a place of flow and grace and ease. Another thing that can block manifesting money, you've failed before. You've set intentions and goals to increase your income and get a better job, and you've not successfully accomplished it. Your unconscious mind remembers those failures, and if we've done it enough times, it tries to protect us by not even letting us set the objective, set the goal, or that we'll get sidetracked immediately after setting it, because a part of you knows, I failed before. What's different now? It's not going to happen. So you're just kind of going through the motions. Your heart's not in it. Your passion's not in it. And you don't think you're going to be successful. So that's number 2. So high stress state, beta consciousness. 2, you failed before. 3, you're on a spiritual path and you don't really believe money is important. Doesn't matter. That's what I started to talk about a little bit earlier. Now, many people are able to manifest money. This does not, not everybody struggles with this, but enough people do, is why I wanted to address this. So if you're on a spiritual path and money's fake and it's just this game of this planet, how do you convince yourself that it's important? Well, some of us will do things like turning up the stress hormones, getting the adrenaline going. So you make it important, you make it a high priority, and you try to do this from this stressed consciousness. It's not going to happen. And here's the thing. If you're on a spiritual path and you're an authentic, genuine person, you can't lie to yourself very long. A part of you knows the truth, that it's not real and it doesn't matter. But you still need to manifest money. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But let me cover number 4. What blocks manifesting money is low self-worth. Now, this can sneak up on us. Now, it could come from a lack of success in making money. Well, mustn't be worthy of making money. It's not happening. The world's giving me a feedback. Or you've been in a challenging relationship and your self-worth is in a toilet. You doubt yourself. Your confidence is low that you can actually accomplish it. And again, the unconscious mind, your body is a storehouse of all your experiences, and you've got lots of evidence, right? So you don't believe, you don't have faith in yourself. So these top 4 blocks to manifesting money, they're not something that a simple affirmation can do or EFT tapping. And I don't dismiss any of those. They have their place. But when we have a track record of not succeeding at it, that's where it becomes stronger. And you do not want to lie to yourself. Tapping for something that's not real is so not okay on this path of manifesting. So what can you do? Well, a couple things. You can sneak up on it. And this is a trick that I've taught my clients over the years, is what will the money bring you? What will you be able to do with it? So is it to move to a new house? Maybe that's the target. Maybe that's the goal. Is it to have some more time with family, loved ones? So maybe the target is to improve the quality of your relationship, or if you're married, the intimacy, the connection, the quality time. Now, is money part of that? It very well could be. So think about it. If your target is something that's super important to you, you're excited about, you're passionate about, then your unconscious mind can start to focus your time and energy into making that happen. Now, if it's too big a leap, like possibly setting an objective, a wish or a goal on having more time with friends and loved ones, that's kind of a leap, right? Where does money come into that? So you're going to have to massage it a little bit so that your unconscious mind knows that it's the money that has been creating maybe the conflict, the arguments. So let's back that up. I think this is a good one. Is if you're married and one of your biggest bugaboos, your biggest subjects that you don't agree on with your spouse is how you spend money, how you make money, then that is enough evidence that if you had your business making more money, you increased your income at your job, you asked for a pay rise, if you're in a job where you can earn commissions, that you start to be better at selling. So you could set an objective that would create, and it could be that you come to peacefulness in relating to your spouse around money. That's still a little bit soft, a little bit weak, and it may not be so clear to your unconscious mind. Let's review that and get that a little tighter. Another one could be perhaps you change your mindset around money. Ooh, we're getting there. That's a bit of a juicy one, isn't it? What if you transformed money as a way of seeing energy coming to you? Like you take a breath and you exhale. Take another breath, you exhale. Money comes in, money comes out. Sometimes if people are struggling manifesting money, they're holding too tightly to what they have and they can get a little bit stingy, a little bit miserly. So what if you started to feel relaxed around money? I know there's a lot of instruction on tithing. It's not something that I'm recommending, but if that's something that would work for you, a certain percentage, 10% of what's coming in, you start to give away, you can start to soften the edges of the fear and scarcity around money. Do you think that might help? Probably so. So we're looking at our mindset, aren't we? Mindset's everything. How we think about money, how we think about intimacy, how we think about partnerships, how we think about friendships, how we think about our health is what we manifest. That's beginning, middle, and end. That's the truth. So if you are looking to attract a new partner into your life, and you're still worried that you could create the same kind of relationship you had in the past, or if you're trying to shed weight and you're looking at the scale and you know that you've tried 10 different diets, but none of them work other than the one that makes you give up all of your favorites, you have that track record of failure, disappointment, and you need to, I'm sorry to say this, but it's really true. You need to dissolve those beliefs, ways of being that are keeping that real in you. Now, some people say, well, I need a new experience. I need to go on a date where it's like I'm really attracted to the person and they like me. Then I'll believe something different. No, you have to believe it before you see it. I'm going to repeat that. Super important. You can't change your mental stance and your perception, your beliefs by proving it in the outside world first. You have to believe it before you see it. So as we start to wrap up, I would love to know what you got out of this podcast. If you'd like to post below, if you listen to it, and as I posted on Facebook, I'd love to hear that. And remember, you can manifest anything. You absolutely can. Are you willing to spend the time and energy to dissolve the old beliefs and habits and patterns that are keeping you away from what you want? And if it's money, you can do it. There's just a little bit more work to clear the gap from where you are now to where you want to be, but it's absolutely essential. I've guided so many clients to be able to manifest money in ways that have been unusual, unique, without white-knuckling it and forcing yourself. Thanks so much for listening. And if you want to get access to how to create a wish list to help you realize your dreams, go to highertrueself.com/freebies. So much love. I'm wishing you the greatest success on your manifesting journey.